Good morning. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. God bless you. It's Apostle Kimberly. What's happening? What's happening on today? What's going on? Turn that down just a little bit. We will turn that down just a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's happening? Let's see who's awake, who's up, who's moving, who's shaking, who has a few minutes to chat it up. Hey, Sasha, coach. How are you? How are you, beautiful? Good to see you on this morning. What's happening with you? Have not talked. We got to catch up. What's going on? What's going on? Good morning, April. How are you? God bless you. Good morning, TikTokers. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Sabrina. How are you, dear? Blessings to you. Hey, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. That's my girl. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. What's happening on this amazing Monday morning, April the 10th, 2023? We are here. We are here, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we're here this morning. I hope that your weekend was amazing, as was mine. I had an amazing weekend. Good morning, Juan. How are you? Blessings to you. I had an amazing weekend this weekend. Yeah, and we'll talk about all of that. We'll chat it up, and I'll fill you in on what's going on. And man, yeah, it was a really good weekend. For those of you who are just popping in, God bless you. Maybe this is your first time. Maybe you're on TikTok and you're catching me for the first time. Hang on, don't jump off. I know how y'all do over there on TikTok. Y'all like, if you ain't getting with it real quick, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going some. Just hold your roll this morning. Hold your roll. Hold your roll before you jump off and go somewhere else. I believe that you're going to be blessed by what it is that I'm going to share on this morning. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. There's April. Good morning. How are you? You guys do me a favor and share out the broadcast if you don't mind. If you love me, share out the broadcast. Share out the broadcast this morning if you think that somebody else will be really, really blessed. Hey, are you a Kimmy? You're Kimmy. And I love the way you spell your name. That's super neat. That is super neat the way that you spell your name. Hmm. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like my broadcast came live everywhere. Oh, there it is right there. There it is right there. So, yeah, good deal. Good deal. I see it's popping up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Charlene. How are you, sweetie? I love you. I love you. Glad that you're on this morning. Kimmy is the first time coming on, and I'm glad Kimmy's over on TikTok, and we're glad that she's here. There's Jules. There's my second set of eyes. Hey, Jules. She knows what I'm talking about. There's my second set of eyes. Thank you, Jules, for coming on this morning. Yes, thank you for coming on this morning. It is Apostle Kimberly. Yes. Okay. So this is what I was getting ready to say. If it's your first time being a part of the broadcast, I'm so glad that you're here. I am Kimberly Jones. My husband and I, do you? Good. My husband and I are overseers of Forest Glory Global, which is a ministry which is apostolic in nature, meaning that we are not stationary in just one place. God has given us this season of mobility where we are moving about and we are advancing the kingdom by building up kingdom leaders. That's right. That's what we do. And we love every minute of it. We love every woman, every man that we get to pour into, every couple that we get to pour into. And so we cover pastors, we cover leaders, we also do training and development, discipleship, evangelism, and outreach. We do missions. Man, let me tell you, we are not, what do they say? We're not letting the grass grow under our feet, right? We're not letting the grass go under our feet. We are moving and shaking in this season. There's Aesthetically B. How are you, my friend? Over on TikTok. God bless you. Yeah, so we're moving and shaking in this season, and we love everything about what God is doing. Okay. And so you'll find us out here on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and whatever other platform we can find. You'll find us out here giving God glory and praise and honor for all that he's done and simply for who he is, because he's amazing. He's amazing. God, on our worst day, God is at his best. Like he doesn't change. That's what I love about him. He does not change. On our worst day, he is still amazing. Can somebody type that this morning? Like, God is still amazing. Whether I'm having a good day, a bad day, up, down, in, out, God is always amazing. He's always amazing. And so, good morning, Beverly Ann. Blessings to you. He is always amazing. God doesn't have bad days. Aren't you glad about that? That we serve a God who does not have bad days. He does. Now, people. Hey, Crystal, how are you, darling? People may have bad days, but God, all his days are amazing. All his days are all mapped out. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Okay. Hey, Augustine from Ghana, West Africa. God bless you. Thank you for being on. Like, he's amazing all around. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. God is amazing. And so, I love the fact that he gives us assignments in seasons and in times. We're going to talk about that, y'all. We're going to talk about time. I'm on a new series. Are y'all ready for a new series? The new series that I'm doing. I just wrapped up Divine Interruptions. If you didn't catch those, go back and get them. All right. But now I got this whole thing, got this whole download from Holy Spirit. It's time. Can somebody type it's time? And while you're typing it's time, invite somebody else into the room. Get them in here because they're going to be blessed. Their socks are going to be blessed off this morning by what God is saying about this whole concept of time. Okay. This whole concept of time. Hey, Lioness, how are you? God bless you. Yes. Yes. Now, remind me who Lioness is. Who is that? I can't remember. Help me out. Y'all help me. Listen, I'm 50. I'm 56. I'll be 57 in August. So give me a break if I don't remember. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Okay. It's time. So we're going to talk about this whole hey TT, Carmelita, what's happening, Carmelita? How are you, darling? I miss you. Where you been? Where you been? I ain't seen you. I don't know what's going on. You doing okay? It's good to see you on, Carmelita. Blessings to you, darling. So yeah, it's time. Are y'all typing that? Charlene typed it. Crystal typed it. Augustine typed it. Yes, Charlene. Yeah, it's time, y'all. It's time. So that's the new series. We just came out of Divine Interruptions. They're still happening, but I just stopped teaching on it. I just, I put a pin in it and teaching on it, but they're still happening. Like divine. Okay, let me tell y'all this. Anytime that you see me come on and I'm coming on and I have particular titles and that means that the Lord has spoken and this is a prophetic word. Okay. This is a prophetic word. And so God whispered in my ear and said, share it with the people. So I'm sharing with you what he has shared with me. Okay. And if God has given us a prophetic word, then we want to make sure that, that we don't just gloss over it and we don't just, take it for granted, but we take the word. Like, this is what you're supposed to do when you get a prophetic word or a word that is prophetic. Okay. When you get that type of word, take that word and take it back to your prayer closet. Take it back to God and say, God, what in this is for me? Right? Ask God, what are you saying to me? I know what Apostle Kimberly said, and that might be all good, but God, how do I apply this to my life? Okay. And that's how you should always approach the word when it's preached, when it's taught, when prophecy is going forth, because many times the spirit of prophecy, the gift of prophecy will flow, right? The prophet will open up his or her mouth. And listen, if I'm in the atmosphere, I'm going to see what God is saying to me. Because let me tell you, he's not just talking to one person. He could potentially be talking to you too. Okay. Hey, Pastor Verlia, how are you, darling? All my daughters are on here this morning. Crystal and Julia and Beverly. Yes. And so, yeah, we got to see what he's saying. I want to know what God is saying to me, right, Cynthia? Right, Carmelita. It's time. So I want to investigate that. And you guys know, as I was reading this morning, as I was reading this morning, this is going to be good. This, I don't know how long we'll go in this series, but this is going to be good. Um, the Lord took me, of course, the Lord took me to a couple of places um in the word but I just want to prophesy. Can I just release this prophetic word to you all that are watching? And the prophetic word is this: it's time. It's time. It's time. Like, there's no more waiting. There's no more waiting. There's no more, you know, there's no more, wondering. There's like, it is literally time. It is literally time. Have y'all ever been watching like a movie, or maybe in your own life, or maybe you know somebody that did this, like when it was time for the baby to come, like the water broke, and the mother was like, it's time. Like, it's time. Like, there is no doubt that it's time, right? There are some things that happen in our lives that clue us in on the fact that it's time, right? There are some things that are very characteristic of it being time, right? Of it being time. And so if you've ever had a baby, good morning, Varel. If you ever had a baby or been around somebody that had a baby, I love it, Juan. It's time. Then you know that when that water breaks, like, there is no question. There is no question that you need to get to moving, okay? You need to get to moving, because that's an indication that the baby is on the way. Can I tell you that the baby is on the way? Can I prophesy this to you all this morning and tell you that the baby is on the way? The baby is on the way. The baby is on the way. The water has broken, and it's time. It's time for you to shift into your season of next level of operation in every aspect of the word, like every aspect. Any anything that you can think about right now, just anything that comes to your mind. um um improving my physical health, it's time. um Making my relationship with my spouse stronger, it's time. um Starting my business, it's time. um Starting the ministry, it's time. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever, ask Holy Spirit to bring it to your mind. Whatever it is, whatever you need to shift in, whatever you need to grow in, whatever you need to go in, whatever you need to stop doing, whatever you need to start doing, do not delay. Do not delay. I told y'all that this is prophetic. Do not delay. It's time. It is simply time. Good morning, darling. How are you, Simon Stephanie? Yes, active labor, Minister Charlene. No going back, right? You know what? For Leah Cheney, it always happens this way. It always happens this way. She gets on the live and it's like, you're in my prayer closet. Like, this is just what I was talking to God about. And that's good. You know why that's good? First of all, because we're connected like that. But what's really good is that when you hear a word, because you've been in the face of God, whoo, like that right there. Carmelita said she felt that in her belly. Like, when you've been in the face of God, you've been in the face of God. Yeah, I had my grandchildren last week, several days last week, and the little one, the 4-year-old, thinks that she's the oldest, but she has a 13-year old brother. And if Kingston gets in Hendrix's face, she's like, get out of my face. Like, get out of my face, right? It's very irritating to her. And so I heard that several times. Kingston, get out of my face. But you know what? I'm so glad that we serve a God that we can get right up in his face, and he's never going to tell us to get out of his face. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome. I love that about God. I love that about God. There's another one of my daughters, Prophetess Lasha. Blessings to you. He never runs us away. He never runs us off. He never gets tired of us, right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he tells us to seek his face, like to get in his face, to seek his face, to turn from our wicked ways, right? to seek his face, turn from our wicked ways. He'll hear from heaven. He'll forgive our sins and he'll heal our land. And so I love the fact that I can get in the face of God. Like I can lean into him and he never says, you're too close, or he never says, back up, or he never says, like Hendrik says to Kingston, get out of my face. So this is the season. So when I said that, something leaped on the inside of me, Carmelita, because I love being in the face of God. Like I love being in his presence. I love praying. I love seeking his face. I love having quiet, intimate time with God. I love getting in the word. I love finding out what he's doing. And so when we're in the face of God, this is where I was going. When we're in the face of God, when a prophetic word comes, many times, most times, what it will do is connect to something that's already in you. Come on, somebody. It connects to something that's already in you. There's the birthday girl. Can we all say happy birthday to Minister Patria Brumfield? She just walked in the room. She just came in the room. God bless you, darling. God bless you. Happy birthday to you, sweetheart. Y'all give Patria some happy birthday greetings this morning. But when there is something that you already have on the inside of you, and then you get in the presence of God, somebody else maybe preaching or ministering or giving a word, then it just connects. It connects with what you've already heard. And so that's why it's imperative in this season that we get in God's face. We just did, I think I did 5 different sessions on divine interruptions. I think it was 5 sessions of that. If you did not catch that, that's your homework. Go back and watch some of those broadcasts because it really set us up for now. Okay. So we're coming off of the heels of divine interruptions into its time. And so I just want to drop this in your spirit this morning that it is time. When you look at Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, that first verse says what? We know it very well, right? We know it very well. It says, to everything there is a season. To everything there is a season. Yes, everybody's saying happy birthday on TikTok too. Everybody on TikTok is wishing you well, Patria. To everything there is a season and a time for every matter or purpose under heaven. Okay? So that's kind of where we're going to rest our hat as we talk about it's time. This scripture right here in Ecclesiastes 3, the first verse, to everything, all right? April says, you're in my house. This is connecting with something that I've been praying about. That's what I'm talking about. To everything. Everything. It didn't say some things. It didn't say every other thing. It didn't say my thing. It didn't say your thing, but it said to everything, to everything, to everything, to everything. I want y'all to get that. To everything. Can y'all, I'm just going to hang right there for a second. To everything. So for those of you who are listening and watching this morning, and you are thinking that your thing is not on the mind of God, I'm here to remind you that to everything, there is a season and a time for every matter or purpose under heaven. And when we get that in our minds, it puts us on a whole nother level. Hey, Tanisha, it puts us on a whole nother level of expectation, right? So like I said earlier, when your water breaks, when you're carrying a baby, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's time, right? So good morning, Pastor Christy. I love you. Blessings to you. We know that when that water breaks, that it's time. Something's getting ready to happen. Like that, you ain't gonna just sit there. Your water ain't gonna break, and you just sit there and be like, "Oh, my water just broke. I'm just gonna sit here." Yes. No. I can remember when my water broke with Kayla, and I was asleep, and my water broke, and I hopped up. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" It was the weirdest feeling. Who knows what I'm talking about? Like it was the weirdest feeling. But no matter how weird it felt, it was still an indication that it was time. And so for some of you, you are in a place right now And it feels so weird, like, that whole divine interruption thing. It feels kind of weird, and you're like, what's going on? Like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, you're shifting in position, you're shifting, you're like, I just can't stay here and not do anything, right? When it's time, y'all, when it's time, you just can't stay there and do nothing. Okay. Some of you, can I tell y'all this? Some of you are feeling very uncomfortable right now because it's time and you're just sitting there. Oh my God. Did I just say that? I did say it. Some of you are feeling very uncomfortable because your water has broken, right? And you're just sitting there. You're just sitting there. What do I mean by your water is broken? Like, there's every indication that the season has shifted, that something new is coming into play, that there are divine interruptions, but you refuse to move. You're just sitting there. Like, everything around you is changing, and you're just sitting there like, this feels weird. I don't feel like I used to feel. This feels uncomfortable. Something is changing in my life. Well, yeah, something is changing in your life. And when something, Vaughn says, I'm in her business. When something changes in your life, you got to change. Y'all write that down. When something changes in your life, you got to change. When something shifts in your life, you have to shift. You have to shift. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck like Moses at the burning bush. He was turning aside to try to figure out, no, 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 no. Don't worry about why the bush is not consumed. Just know that this is me. This is me, that I am in the midst of this. When something changes in your life, you have to change. And can I tell y'all, I wish anybody would have told me this years ago. I wish somebody would have told me this years ago. Like, it's a very simple concept. Yeah, it's a very simple concept, right? Okay, Smith, it's a very simple concept, but if we miss it, it throws a monkey wrench in our lives. And we don't know if we're coming and we're going. We don't know if we're up or down. We don't know. We question everything that we do. Every decision that we make, we're not sure of it because everything is changing and we have not changed. We have not changed. We haven't gotten the memo. We haven't gotten the memo. And so when something in our lives change, we have to change. Y'all got that? When something in our life changes, we got to change. We don't know how. I mean, when God is doing something new, we always crying out, God, do the new thing. But God is not going to do the new thing. Well, no. Let me reverse that. God will do the new thing. You'll just miss out on it. Okay? Because we don't stop God from doing what he's doing. He'll do it, but he'll do it without you. Oh my goodness. How many new things have you, how many moves of God have you missed out on? How many waves and dispensations of how God is shifting and moving and, showing up and, advancing the kingdom. There's so many different ways and seasons where he has advanced the kingdom. And many of us are on the outside looking in because we refuse to change with the times. We refuse to change with the times. It's almost like showing up today with the what was those 9-track, those nine track that we used to hold like music and stuff on. Y'all remember those? Yeah, show up with one of those if you want to. Show nobody. It ain't happening. It's not happening. We got to shift with the times. We got to move with the moves. Okay. Somebody decree and declare that I'm shifting with the times and I'm moving with the move. Did I say 9-track? Did I say 9-track? 8-track. See, that's how old it is. I think I said 9-track. Didn't I? Oh gosh. Anyway, we can't even use those anymore. We can't even use the things that we used to use to play those on are not even available anymore. Okay. It's not even available anymore. It's not even available. Y'all know I just keep it moving. It's not even available anymore, right? And so let me tell you. So it kind of, ooh, this is kind of good. I like this. So with those 8 tracks, if we try to, we don't even have the device to even play those on. It's almost like us showing up in a season, still on repeat of something old in a new season, and it's coming out garbled. Like it's not even being effective because it's not even viable, it's not even relevant to where we are right now. Does that make sense? Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? Like it's like showing up in this season with the language of last season. You know, it's like showing up in this season. Listen, when COVID hit, when COVID hit, y'all, um, social media took on a whole new um meaning. It took on a whole new meaning, y'all. Social media took on a whole new meaning, right? So where it was an option before, remember, it was like some people like, I ain't fooling with social media. I'm not gonna get on Facebook. I don't want you doing too much on Facebook. You always on Facebook. You always on. You always live. You always got all these devices on. You on all these different platforms. You're just okay. Yeah, I remember that it changed from being an option to a necessity. Come on, somebody, right, Pastor Verlia? It became necessary. It became necessary. And so, you know, and we and some of us have been already on that train, right? Already on that train of social media. And so when the shift came, you know, we were okay. We were able to shift, right? There were lots of churches that did not know how to go live on social media or broadcast on social media. And a lot of those ministries just really lost their way because, as much as sometimes we don't like change, it's inevitable. Change is inevitable, y'all, right? Yeah. Tracy said I was the worst shifting to the newest technology. What a spiritual reflection of my ability to switch. Tracy, that is so good. That is so good. Some of us come kicking and screaming when God is saying, listen, I'm going to use you in a different way. I'm going to use you on a different platform. I'm going to use you with different people. Remember, I talked about at the beginning of the year about this being the year of crossover, right? And so the message, as I enter into this series of talking about it's time, I want you to just reflect on, you know, what is it time for in your life? And if you don't know, that you will show up with listening ears to discover what God is saying. Okay. I want to know what God is saying. I want to know what I have said is optional, but in the eyes of God, it's a necessity. Come on. I want to know what I'm missing out on because I'm comfortable in it. I don't know. I want to know what, you know, I am forfeiting because I refuse to change. What am I forfeiting because I refuse to change and because I refuse to get in step with what God is doing in his timing And so for many of us, it's time for you to get into step with God's timing. It's going to look different. Your life is, oh man, I feel this, y'all. You're gonna make a drastic change, like from night to day. It's gonna be so drastic, and people are not gonna understand it, and people are gonna think that you lost your mind, and people are gonna think that that you've not heard from God because it's so different. It's so different. It's so out of the box, and it's so unusual and abnormal for you. But let me tell you, see, what am I, right, Patria? What am I forfeiting because I won't change and because I won't shift? But some of you, I'm telling you, and it's not, and I know you're not gonna, you're gonna feel some kind of way because you're gonna have to shift environments. You're gonna have to shift in your relationships. You're gonna have to shift in where you work. You're gonna have to shift in where you live. See, we're okay. We're okay with doing what God tells us to do when it makes sense to us. But there are going to be some things that God tells us to do in his timing that's not going to make sense to us. So let me just do this really quick. So when you look at Ecclesiastes and you look at that first verse, and it says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. When you look up that word season, that word season, when you look at that word in the Hebrew, it's zaman, okay? Zaman. And zaman means a set time, an appointed time. And it comes from the root word that means to appoint a time. Whew. To everything I have appointed a time. It means to be fixed. I'm just filling in the blank. To everything I have fixed a time. To everything I have appointed times. And so when the Bible says to everything there is a season, it's talking about appointed times, it's talking about set times, okay? It's, oh my goodness. It's this space, it's this place that is designated for certain things to happen. Okay? It's like you can't see it. Like you can't put your finger on it. You can't even look on your calendar to identify it. But it's this thing. And that's what the word says, to everything. It's this thing. It's this feel. It's this shift. It's this movement. It's this transformation, and you feel it. And sometimes you feel it in the pit of your belly. And sometimes you feel it in your thinking. And sometimes you feel it in your heart. And sometimes you feel it in the way things are moving around you. And you see things shifting and changing, and you attribute it to everything else except a move of God. Did y'all get that? Because I kind of felt that, okay? And so that's what that's talking about. It's talking about to everything there is a season, a fixed time, an appointed time. I love that. The other part of it says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Okay. Now, when you look at that word purpose, when you look at that word time, I'm sorry, when you look at, because we looked at season and now we want to look at time. When you look at that word time, it means the time of an event. The time of an event. The time of an event. Okay. The time of an event. So we have seasons. We have spring, summer, right? We have fall. We have winter. We have all of those seasons. So being in the spring season, that spans a number of months. That spans a number of months, this season. Like you could be in a season and miss the time. Because like in spring, different, like if you have, if you say your birthday is in the spring, but there's an appointed day and month within that season that your birthday happens, right? Or holidays. There are different holidays. Like when you think about summer, you think about summer and you think about the 4th of July. That's summer, right? It's in the summer season, but there's a date on it. The 4th of July is the holiday. So within seasons, there are appointed days, there are fixed days, because the time means the time of an event, usual time or occurrence or occasion, occurrence or occasion. So the Lord has shown this to me this way, that we could be in the right season and still miss the time. I got to get off of here. I got to go. I really do. Because that right there, like you could be in the right season and miss the time. And some of us get so stuck on, it's a new season, it's a new day, right? Maybe we shifted, maybe we've moved to a different place in a season, right? Maybe we've moved to a different place. Maybe we've gotten married. Maybe something has happened with our children. Maybe we've become empty nesters, and that's the season that we're in. But what is God doing within a season? What is God doing within a season? Yes, Patria singing. What is God doing within a season? Because I want to know what it is about this time of an event. Like, is it time? What is it time for me to do? I'm in my season of movement. I'm in my season of growth. I'm in my season of more. I'm in my season of expansion. I'm in my season, another level of faith. I'm in my season of boldness, right, Patria? I'm in my season of boldness. But I'm in a season of boldness and growth and expansion and faith and all of that. But what for? What for? There are some things within these seasons. God shifted me. He transitioned me. I'm in a season of movement. Okay, but to everything there is a season, and there is a time to every purpose. So there's a time to every purpose. Okay, there's a time to every purpose. There's a season to everything. There's a time. Jesus. There's a season to everything, and there's a time for every purpose under heaven. And so I don't want to just be in the season, right? I don't just want to be in this thing in the right season, but I want to be in my purpose at the right time. Lord have mercy. This is good to me. Y'all getting it? Y'all understand? Are y'all getting this? Like this is really good, because some of you're getting ready to get remember, we have been divinely disrupted. The disruptors are in the room, right? The disruptors are in the room. If you're a disruptor, come on, Patria, come on, Verlia, come on, Jerry, come on, April, come on, Juan, come on. If there are any disruptors in the room, I want you to type, I'm a disruptor. Like I disrupt atmospheres. I'm a disruptor. And so if I'm a disruptor, if God has called me to be his solution to the norm, right? Because disruptions break up the norm. And so I'm God's solution to the norm. How can I stay the same? How can I not be within the timing of God and not cause change and cause things to move? Like I can't be so stuck in my place, that's comfortable for me, my place that's, I'm used to. But I don't want to miss my season. But more importantly, I don't want to miss my time within the season, because some of us stop working when we find out that we're in the right season. Some of us stop working. We stop working. The Bible talks about the ant, right? The Bible talks about how the ant works so diligently. Like we can learn from the ant. The ant is always storing up its food, right? It doesn't stop. It's always storing up its food. Sometimes when we get to a point where things are kind of leveling out, or things feel like they're pretty cool and stuff, that sometimes we stop working. But we stop working short of being in the timing of God. We stop working, and God still wants to reveal more to us. Hey, Pastor Brandy, how are you? God still wants to reveal more to us so that we'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, God, I'm obedient to the point. Okay, let me give you an example. When I moved to the Atlanta area, it was a new season for me. But within this new season, there have been so many appointed times. I mean, at the same time that I was moving to Atlanta, my husband was moving to Atlanta. At the same time. When I got here, I was going to one church, and the appointed time, God said, I need you to go to this church over there. I went to this church over there, and guess who was there? My husband was there, right? And so a few years after that, of course, we got married. There are seasons, and you got to move in the timing of God. There was a time when I was working a 9 to 5. I was working a 9 to 5, y'all, and it wasn't a bad 9 to 5. It was a good profession, counseling and all of that, and working with veterans and all of that. And so I could have gotten stuck in that season, because let me tell you this, the Lord, I had been off work. Before I went into this job, I can't even remember what I was doing, but I know that I wasn't doing a full-time 9 to 5. And so I shifted into this full-time 9 to 5. It was a season that had a time in it. And the time in that season was designated for me. In that season, I was building business. I was, God was opening up doors. He was extending the level of my reach, and influence out here on social media. But within that season, there was a time for me to get up and go. There was a time for me to get up and go. And had I not gotten up when God said shift, then I would have missed out on my next time. I would have missed out on my next appointment. I'm just trying to set the stage today because we're getting ready to investigate and dig deep into this. Okay, we're gonna dig deep into this, and I want y'all to join me. Okay, I want y'all to join me. This is one more thing I'm gonna share with you about this whole word time, and this is gonna bless your socks off, and then I'm really gonna go. So when you look up that word time, the root word, when you look up the root word, it also means. Not only does it mean a timing of an event or usual time, it means ancient time of the past. It means of the past, time of the past. And it also means time of the future. It means continuous existence. Now, somebody already got it. Somebody already got it. Yes, right? Right, Patria, you remember you were there. All of that, all at once. God did that. God did that. Because I was in his timing. And when you're in the timing of God, things work like that. So listen. Let me say that again. Did y'all get what I was saying? That word time, that there's the root of it. When you look at the root of it, it means ancient of past time and also of future time. It means continuous existence. So I'm going to wrap this up right here. This whole time that I'm talking about, to every purpose under heaven, this time, it's not like we think about time in our natural mind, because we look at our calendars, our watches, we look at that, we say, okay, this is the time right here. But when God slates a time for us, y'all, it's timeless. It's timeless. It's timeless. The timing of God is timeless. I love it, Pastor Brandy. This is wonderful news. You'll have to give me details, okay? This is awesome. Oh, I thought you meant for your conference, but this is at another conference. Yeah, when God wants you in a certain place at a certain time, he'll get you there. He will get you there. But the timing of God is timeless. It's timeless. This time is talking about something that already existed, something that will be in the future, something of continuous existence. And so we are walking in. We walk in and step into God's time. Whew, Jesus. Y'all. We literally walk in to what already is. I'm just doing like this because I just see myself. Can y'all see yourself? That's like walking in. It's not like he's trying to construct it right now. It's not like he's trying to pull it together right now. No, he's not. It's already done. Like it's already done. And so we kind of like step in. It's almost like stepping into a river, right? You step into a river. You step into the ocean. It's already flowing. It's already flowing. We step into God's time. And when we walk in God's time, then we are swept away. We are swept away in his movement, in the way that he's moving. Y'all, that's good to me. That's good to me. I hope y'all took notes this morning, because I got some more to share, but I'm going to stop right there. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm going to stop right there, because God is speaking, y'all. He is speaking about this whole concept of time. And so we know that there's a season and a time. We can be in a season and miss the time. So we want to make sure that we're looking for both the season and the timing of God. What am I supposed to be doing in this season? Right. And we also know that there is there is a season for everything, and there's a time for every purpose. And so our time has already been etched out. There's a time, there's a specific time, there's a specific thing, there's a specific way that we're supposed to be moving, and we're not going to be stuck in old habits and old ways of thinking and old thought processes. We're not going to be stuck in all of that. We're going to move how God's moving. And so, and then this last thing is that, y'all see, I'm trying to keep myself together. Okay. The last thing is that God's timing is timeless. Like, what we step in was not just created today. It's a flow that's been there, and God just invites us in. I love it. He invites us in at the appropriate time when we're ready. When I'm ready, are you ready to walk into God's flow? Are you ready? Are you ready to walk into that place? Like, that's what this whole divine interruption and all this is about. God, what do I need to do? What do I need to shift? How do I need to get myself together so that when the flow starts flowing, then I can just step in and trust God in it, and trust that I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be swept off to, some place that's not conducive to my purpose, that I can't handle. It's not going to be too much for me. I'm not gonna go under. Definitely not gonna go under. I'm helping somebody this morning. Listen, Pastor LaShaw, prophetess, she said she about to go under her desk. So I'm not, I don't have to worry. Like, I don't have to worry. Oh God, I thank you. Whew. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to run this morning. I don't have to worry, because I have stepped into God's time. How they have some of these movies. What was that movie? My goodness, I can't remember it. Where they stepped into this, I think it was some type of vehicle, and they went to another, um, Back to the Future. Was that it? I can't remember. But they stepped into this time capsule, or this big, some type of vehicle or whatever, and they stepped in it, and then all of a sudden they found themselves in a different era, right? See, that's what I believe. I believe that, y'all, I do believe this. I do believe this. I do believe this. I believe that when we get our minds right, I believe that when we get our minds right, it is Back to the Future. Okay. When we get our minds right with Michael J. Fox, that there's just nothing that we can't do. There is nothing that we can't handle. There is nothing that will not happen according to God's promise and God's plan. That there's a place for us to step into, and it requires, oh, not just keep on moving, because I just see us stepping into it. I don't know. Maybe you should just step where you are. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just a prophetic, maybe it's just a prophetic move that we need to do, right? Prophetic action, prophetic act. Maybe where you are right now, you just need to take a step. Just see yourself. I just see it, y'all. Like, and I see it like being this close. Like you're this close. I'll hold it this way. You're like this close. Like that shift, that one little shift that you need to make, because to everything there is a season, and there's a time to every purpose under heaven. It's like it's a quantum leap in the realm of the spirit. Okay. Just a step, Pastor Brandy. Not even a fight. Just, okay, I'm stepping in. I'm stepping in. I'm getting ready to do it. I'm going to step in. Uh, that's for somebody this morning. I don't know who it's for. Totally. Not just, and don't just be there in word, but be there fully. Be fully vested. Be fully vested, because it's time. So it requires, let me tell you what this time, this step into time, this step into God's timing, fully vested. You ain't got time. You ain't got time to waste on stuff that you ain't got time to waste it on. You ain't got time to waste time on stuff that you ain't got time to waste it on. Like, I ain't got time to waste it on that. I'm fully vested in what God is doing. Hey, Jill, how are you, my sister? Like I really don't. I just want to be in the timing of God. I want to go where he tells me to go. I want to move when he tells me to move. I want to show up where he tells me to show up. I don't want to be, I can't do that because I didn't have it scheduled. And, no, I can't go there because it wasn't in my plan. I got my 1-year plan, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, and that wasn't. Suppose God just simply wants to shift you into something, the most supernatural and the most amazing season of your life. But all it requires is for you to step in and take that leap. Right? So I'm y'all see, I'm trying to be good. I'm containing myself. But on the inside, I see it. Like I see it. I see it. One, we waste a lot of time on, can I just post that right there? We waste a lot of time on fruitless things. A lot of time on fruitless things. Try not to be loud. Y'all know I'm the loud girl. Try not to be loud this morning. I want to scream too, Pastor Brandy. We waste a lot of, and so we need to identify. I have my 21 day keep it moving mindset journey, my challenge that begins today. And today I'm coaching on what it means to do a reality check. Like, just do a reality check. It reminds me of that. A reality check of where you are. Where are you? Where are you? Are you spending time on fruitless things? You can still register. You can still register. Let me put the link right here. Because every day over the next 21 days, we're going to be talking about these different things. Hey, Dr. Risha, we're going to be talking about these different things and about being in God's timing. This is it right here. So it starts today. Y'all still, I wasn't even going in this direction, but there's some of you that still might want to get in this. Because there's something that has to happen up here. Like, you can't even wrap your mind around it if you don't get this right. Because you're going to always try to go back to logic. You're going to always try to go back to logic. Like, this don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do this. There's some things that God has told me to do in this season. 24-hour prayer line. Me and my husband step out of traditional ministry for 20 years and start For His Glory Global. There's some stuff. That's it, Pastor Vorlia. That's right. There's some things. I got travel that's coming up in June to Nigeria. I didn't have a year's notice on that. I didn't have a year's notice. But I know it's a time of God. It's a revival there that I'm going to be speaking at. I just want to be pliable in the hands of God. Listen, some of y'all need to join me for this. Some of y'all need to join me for this. You can still join. Listen, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wrap it up for right now, y'all. I'm gonna wrap it up for right now. But y'all meditate on this today. Share this broadcast with somebody today. Let them know there's something to be considered. Okay. All right, guys. I love you, and keep your notifications on. If you're not following, please follow, because this is going to be another series where we're talking about time and the fact that it's time. It's time. Thank y'all for coming on today. Blessings.